Hey friends, welcome to the Music Discovery Journey. I'm Phoebe and I am basically checking out all the music that I've missed out on over the years. I want to share the gems with you, and that's why I started this channel, so please like and subscribe if you like the sound of that. I'm looking at more Ren today. I'm looking, listening, learning, because Ren speaks a lot of truth and he has a lot of important things to say about the world. This is Money Ties. I did Money Game part 1, 2 and 3 quite early on in my Ren journey, and they were so powerful, and I keep hearing Money Ties pop up and I just hadn't gotten around to listening to that yet, so it's about time, isn't it? I can imagine this is about corporations, corporate greed, oppressor situations, the rich getting rich, the poor getting poorer, money ties. Money can be bad, but we'll see, shall we? I think I've got the lyrics up in a tab. Yes, I've got the tab open now. It's 3 minutes 36. Let's just play. We'll watch all the way through once.
Contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. But the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet, preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bitter pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores, what a shocker. When we lose sight of live and let live, forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, well you die with a grin. Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you a little story about a boy named Ren. Born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have much, but mum and dad, they made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up, because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker, we all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth. Money run the gang thug, drug money plow. Money makes open case close. Money bend love, make war, make ghosts. Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives, money both. Money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, eh. Money lies, money lies, money lies, eh.
Shit. I wasn't ready for that. was a lot deeper. I think because he was talking about trying to protect his little sister. There was so much in that, but that got me. Oh, this is my first recording of the day and we're crying already. Jesus. I should expect tears with a lot of Ren stuff, but I just didn't with this one. I was expecting probably anger and sadness at the world and how it's become, but not on that level. Well, he has that ability to just make you feel those intense emotions, and it's knowing how important this is, in that there needs to be change for things to get better. But will there be change? And how does that happen? There's got to be a way. There has to be a way, but are there enough people aware to make that change? Do we even know? We might want it, but how do we create that? There are far more oppressed people than there are non-oppressed. And yet, those non-oppressed are at the top. It's hard to comprehend sometimes that this is the state of the world and has been for a long time. And you want to protect the younger people. You don't want to be having people who are bitter for centuries over something that could be a different way. Oh man, that hit so hard. Okay, we're gonna go through it again, as we usually do lately, and break down the lyrics. Oh my god. I just wasn't expecting it to hit that hard.
Godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But
see how it's all like a dream-like, happy sound. We'll be content, we'll be happy if we just think about it like this. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Where's this from? We brought nothing into the world and we cannot take anything out of the world. We are all equal. We should be all equal. We come in with nothing, we leave with nothing. What we acquire shouldn't be used for evil. We should be happy with what we have and what we acquire, and we should not use it to create hierarchy. So if we have food and clothing, with these we'll be content. We can live a comfortable life, hopefully have a roof over our heads, and if we have that, we are rich. But
have food and clothing. With these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall in into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
You see that will be content. With these will be content, and it's like sunshine and rainbows and people looking like they're on a holiday or on a beach having a great time. But then it says, but those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into a bad place, basically, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction, as we see so often. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. It really can send you into a dark, greedy hole. And it's ugly. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path. People stray from the path all the time because of poor decisions or bad decisions or selfish decisions. And pierce themselves with the many pangs of greed. It's a really appropriate introduction to this track, and it's just so powerful. Hang on, we've got genius lyrics. Oh, it's a quote from the Bible on the evils of greed and the benefits of being happy once one has enough to survive. Yeah, perhaps that's where I've heard it from. Yeah.
Away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet, preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bitter pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose.
There's a lot even just in that verse. Money makes the world go round. Money keeps things going. Money makes the pure man lawless. A person that is innocent, a person that is good. Money can turn them into bad. Money can turn them into someone who doesn't care about the law. Perhaps selling drugs for money, can make a lot of money. Who cares? Who gets rich quickly? Or even if you are someone who is very wealthy, tax evasion or hiding certain income or twisting things so that you don't pay what you should. There's a load of ways to be lawless. There's a load of ways to ignore the law as a rich person. You don't have to be someone who's needing to turn to selling drugs to make money, but that could also be a thing. But a good person can turn bad because a little bit of money can turn into a lot of money and they want more. Some people don't know where to stop. It says lawless proud, so like getting more money and being proud of that no matter what they have to do and what lengths they go to make more. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. A verb is a doing word. A noun is a what does it say here? intentions, verbs, into actions, nouns. Money drives people to act on their desires and thoughts. These can be selfish or harmful. Again, yeah, your intention, your desire to actual actions makes a lot of sense. It says here, the line highlights how wealth and power can corrupt people and their judgment. Suddenly judgment doesn't matter, leading to prioritizing personal gain over others because they don't care about others. Step on everyone to get to the top. Because an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. Again, they're doing things because their sights are set on the money, nothing else. It's inspired them, the money has inspired them to do the thing because that's what they'll get. False prophet. I love when he does this. He's done this in another song that I covered recently. False prophet, prophet, a preacher, a fake preacher. Preach prophet, profit, and we follow. It's kind of just reiterating what a sham it is. Even preachers are encouraging this greed, and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonour, that's a bitter pill to swallow. Setting a bad example, isn't it, even from the top? The biggest bank robber are the banks, and politicians. I like how he did that. But judiciary are whores. What a shocker. It's again another point to reiterate that the people that are supposed to be good are fake, and that people who are genuinely good are not, or looked down on, or made fun of, or wrong. What a shocker. Yeah.
Profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonour, that's a bitter pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock. When we lose sight of live and let live, forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you.
When we lose sight of live and let live, forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. It's so true what I said earlier about how you can be rich without money. You can be rich in love. You can be happy without the greed and more things that you need. If we have all that we need, we should be content, right? So why does anyone need more than that? And even if someone has a bit more than that, why do they need even more? Why does someone have to be the richest person in the world? Why is there such an imbalance of wealth? Why are people that save lives on such a low wage than a ton of office workers? Or why are some people on absolutely ridiculous wages but others on barely anything to survive? And it's usually the ones saving lives of people. Medical staff don't get paid nowhere near what they should, and it's oh so stupid. We lose sight of live and let live. People are so clouded by greed that they don't realize what we're here for in the first place. Your soul is much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all there is. It's quite sad. Just trying to make ends meet when someone barely doing anything, or in comparison, gets a lot more. Now, that's not everyone, but there are a lot of people that are sitting at the top that aren't half as hardworking as some at the bottom. Perhaps that's working smarter, not harder. But if your morals are put to one side, then I know what I'd rather do. But it shouldn't be like that. Still. When you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Or will you look back and think, shit, I didn't live a very good life? Are you proud of that? Or will you realise too late? Now, digging up the root of evil, money tool like a blade. Money is the root of all evil. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. You can, it's what, self-suicide. You can either use it wisely or not, basically. Carve and create, like, build a good future for others. Be selfless instead of selfish. Or, if you know, slice across the jugular in terms of be selfish, death to your own morals. That's what that feels like. Or grow and build and be moral about it. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money. So when you're focused on more power, more money, instead of, you know, just to get by and selfless ways, you start to compromise ideals for dollars. Morals get bloody. Again, it's literally what I just said. Morals go out the window. You start not caring about others. You start doing things that could be a danger to others, or just, you know, illegal or not very nice. I know this isn't everyone, but it's a very, very good subject to talk about because it's very apparent in a lot of situations. This next part, I thought he was going to say Jimmy when I first heard it. Let me tell you a story about a boy named, I thought he was going to say Jimmy, but it was Ren. And so we'll listen to that part next.
When the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you a little story about a boy named Ren. Born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have much, but mum and dad, they made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy.
I really love there's a bit of a backing vocal in there. I like the music they're using as well. It's sad. It's kind of goes with the theme of the state of the world. We will listen to a bit more of that story before we talk about the lyrics, but I just wanted to mention that.
God we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up, because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker, we all must grow old. But listen up my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck.
Oh. Now let me tell you a little story about a boy named Ren. The world of Jimmy is completely different to the world of Ren. Jimmy grew up in a very wealthy place, which was then filled with greed and pushing harder and more at the top than anyone else. And it didn't lead to a good ending. I won't spoil it anymore for anyone that hasn't watched the Money Game series, but worlds apart from Ren, it seems. Born in March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh Ends. We didn't have much, but Mum and Dad, they made enough to put hot meals on the table. Fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her. Made our family richer. Again, it's that sentiment of feeling blessed. You don't have a lot, but you make do with what you have, and you're content enough. And it's just, when you read his story, or when you think about his story, it's one of humble beginnings, but then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at the shoulder. As you get older, you realise a lot of things as you get older, don't you? The reality of life and the world sets in a bit more when you're older and less naive and more aware of how things work, and it's kind of sad. A lot of people talk about going back to innocence and being a child again, and when things were simpler, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously talking about a little sister fell into the picture. My God, we loved her, made her family richer. I don't even know if I read that bit. I was just all over the place. But yeah, the fact that they had more in the family and they were happy about that. But then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at the shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. It's those things you learn as you get older. And he's telling her, warning her, even if she's, young, he wants to tell her before it's too late, and she realises after her youth is snatched, or something like that, something along those lines. Hierarchy, people being above others, even though they shouldn't. Hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched. Older people take advantage of young and more vulnerable people. A lot of people can relate to that. And most people are so vulnerable, they don't have the power to stop that. They don't know how to stop that. They've not been faced with that before. And someone that's older and wiser should know better. But if that's the case, why does it happen so often? Why is it still happening today that vulnerable people are taken advantage of? That bit upset me a lot. You'll learn that love is not enough. It's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up, because it's bumpy as shit, and it's so true. Oh my god. And he just wants her to... He doesn't want her to grow up fast, but he wants her to be aware so he can protect her and she can protect herself. Even though she's a child. But so you have to toughen up, because if you don't, you're fucked. Someone will take advantage of you. There'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. That happens no matter how old you are. It's happened to me a ton of times. Still does happen. People try. Some succeed and some don't. You try and learn how to deal with that as you get older, but it's not always easy to stop it. In theory it seems it, but a lot of the time you learn from your mistakes, or you snap eventually. Even the good people snap, as we saw in Ren's Cujo Beatdown recently, or I did. Makes a lot of sense. There'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. So when you talk about filling your cup, it's usually talking about the love or the kindness or just your contentment. Fill your cup. Have a good life. And metaphorically, you're saying you feel it might be leaking with holes. You're trying, but it's one step forward, 2 steps back. That's what that feels. If you're filling up your cup, you're like, oh, here's all the love, here's all the happiness. Why is it all going? Where's it going? I'm pouring more in. I'm pouring more of myself in, and it's all leaking everywhere. Just like my eyes. Oh, it's rough. It's such a good line. And that dark can get much darker. So true. We all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister, hold these words to you close. Oh, it says here worlds. It could be worlds. In good, or being on the good side. Or it could be words, because they're useful. Keep that kind heart, kid. Humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me, because that can be what happens. Because this world needs love, and love, it leaks from you. See, it's just a reminder that she's pure of heart and never to change, but be wary, be careful, but don't lose yourself in the horrible world that we live in. I see your wings have feather more than ever. She's pure of heart. She's got so much potential. Mine were torn by my oppressor. He feels like he can't fly, or he's been prevented, stopped. Sickness scorned me, but whatever, another setback in his life, a huge setback in his life. Suffering, not knowing for so long, and feeling like he's losing himself. Losing the fight can all make a lot of sense in having your wings torn, not being able to reach your full potential, being angry about it. By your side we fly together. So it's still saying he can still, but it's harder. Give me flight when I could never. Perhaps her strength is enough to lift them both up. That's wholesome. That's really wholesome. Oh my god. This is a ride, huh? I was going to do a chapter today, but I don't think I'll manage. Oh. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. That's wholesome too.
Could never a releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous, fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure, and fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes.
Oh, this is so good. Wish I'd heard this one sooner, but hey, it's alright. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. All these things are what can become of evil people, or what can make us feel as a result. You know, feeling depressed. Depression can take over a great deal when you have this realization that the world can be so corrupt, and even people who are supposed to protect us don't. Sometimes the law can be very corrupt, sometimes the police can be very corrupt. Sometimes when someone deserves justice, they are stripped of their childhood, for instance, and they're told nothing can be done to a criminal. And some criminals can walk away either by paying loads of money or something corrupt like that. I'm not going to name names, but I was even watching a documentary about a well-known corrupt, awful person who didn't even properly go to jail after committing some awful crimes, and then did eventually go to jail. That ended quite quickly. But just when you look at how things are handled, and then you look at how much money the person has and how they managed to get away with so many things because they had money, it's awful. So many people suffered at the hands of that person, and probably did continue to while they were supposed to be in jail. I don't think it's jail when you get let out 12 hours a day, but people have money. Anyway, not naming any names. But yeah, fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. It's all these things that we feel when you think about how corrupt the world is and how awful humanity can be. Bullies exist in so many different forms. Greed exists in so many different forms. Jealousy exists in so many different forms. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Those two lines are quite similar, but very powerful. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now it's time to stand tall.
Fuck bullies, fuck the jealous, fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure, and fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man punched in his mouth. Money run the gang, thug, drug money, plow. Money makes open case close. Money bend love, make war, make goals. Money gives poor man. Oh, money saves lives, takes lives, money both. Money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, eh. Money lies, money lies, money lies, eh.
No people, no profit. I saw that in the end, but I wasn't sure what the no people, no profit means. Obviously it means something, but I'm not quite sure. Money makes, so now it's time to stand tall, because money makes the world go round, as we saw from the first line. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Sick boy, Ren talks about himself being the sick boy. He's had a lot to deal with in his sickness. For a long time he thought he had various illnesses. Doctors that he trusted couldn't even diagnose him properly, and he suffered a lot with that, with the wrong medication, with brain damage, with all sorts of things. A lot of people talk about the pharmaceutical industry and how if they want to make money, they can't just possibly cure everyone, can they? Obviously, don't know to the extent of how far people go, but I'm sure with a bit of research we can find that there are certain things that we might be held at arm's length with, or I don't know, but talking about being sick, and money can make you sicker, even more sick. That's kind of corrupt, isn't it? That's just mad. I've probably not articulated it very well, but I hope that makes sense. Money gets a man mugged. Just someone wants money, they see you on the street and they think, oh, they've got something that I want, and can mug them, and it could turn out that the person doesn't even have anything on them. A long time ago, one of my ex-partners, their dad got mugged. It was early in the morning. He was walking along. I think he had dementia. And we didn't know, but it was early onset dementia, I think. And he would go just wandering outside at odd times. And someone had asked him, did he have any money that he could have, because he was looking for some. He didn't have any money for whatever reason. And the dad said, oh, I'm really sorry, no I don't. And the guy was like, okay, and then walked off, but then came back from behind and hit him very hard on the head to make him fall over. And he was in hospital for a while after that with bruises all over his head. And you know what he was carrying with him? A Bible. Just a Bible in his backpack. And his old little phone that didn't have anything on it. It wasn't a smartphone. It was just one of those little, I think it was a Nokia. Someone wanted money and thought he had some, and mugged him for a Bible, and caused all of that pain, and could have killed him. Money gets a man punched in his mouth. Money run the gang thug drug money. Blow. Drugs are a source of money. People make a lot of money selling drugs illegally. Gangs tend to do that and that can be dangerous. Also with drugs, people selling drugs, you hear a lot of stories, or at least in the movies, with people starting to the drug sellers could end up delving into their own supply and not paying for it, or not compensating for it, and then getting into trouble and could get killed. Seems like a very serious and dangerous business. Also, it's, you know, potential to get the forces involved. How corrupt are the forces? Money makes open case close. You hear a lot of stories, again, not naming names, about rich politicians or people at the top, not naming any names. And a lot of cases come up against them, and there is a lot of public information that shows a lot of cases being closed because someone's paid off, or you hear a lot of stuff about cases being closed because someone's paid off a lot of money. And you hear a lot of things about, you know, the poorer people or the more vulnerable people that can't fight a case because they are not as wealthy as the person they are trying to create a case against. That's sad. It creates this power that can be held over the vulnerable and the victims, and that's awful. What kind of situation is that? What kind of system is that? It's a broken system. That line just, it angered me, because I've seen a lot of that. Money bend law, as we've discussed. Make war. I always talk about this as well in my recent Sabaton videos. There's a lot of talk about war. They write songs about war and things that have happened. And it's always about someone that has wanted more money, more territory, more power, more resources. Almost always it's one or multiple of the above. Make ghosts. People die because of greed and power over money. Money gives a poor man hope. Yeah. Money saves lives, takes lives. Money does all the things. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad, and it is used for both. Money is, money isn't. Money's just that. I guess it's kind of similar to what we've just said. Money's just a concept people attract. It has become this thing that society has created with the hierarchy and the status and everything. If we didn't treat it as such, it wouldn't be, but it is. That sucks. Tax up the poor man, feed the fat, the rich. I think feed up the fat. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, eh? Money lies, money lies, money lies, eh? It all makes quite perfect sense, doesn't it? And it's just sad. I feel sad that I sit here and I'm doing nothing to change it. But I'd love to think about solutions and how could we change that. And as impossible as it sounds, there still must be a way. Even if it seems impossible, it's only impossible if you don't try or something, right? I don't know. But I'd love people to let me know in the comments. I really wasn't ready for that one. I can't believe I've been almost talking for 50 minutes. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone on the Patreon. This is just to say thank you to anyone who has joined. For as little as £1, you can get your name at the end of the videos. So thank you to anyone who has done that. But please know that I value you all. You don't have to spend a penny here to be valued. Everyone that watches my videos, Renegades, thank you for being here as well. Anyone who comments, that really boosts the videos. It really helps. For any of the videos that I can monetize on, that really helps as well. That, you know, it can bring in some income. Money. And even just, you know, people's time, liking, commenting, subscribing, all of those, and viewing, like, take a lot of time. If you're still here after 50 minutes, I am sorry. There's no refunds, but thank you so much. If you did get this far, please comment no refunds. And whatever you thought of the video, I'd really appreciate it. Wow, what a powerful one. Thank you. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.